So it's a 360-degree camera like this one, the X5 from Insta360, the ultimate travel camera for seniors. I'm going to give you reasons why. Now, I started with the original camera from, close to 7 or 8 years ago, and I upgraded to the version 2, and this version to the X5 was definitely worth it. I think it's just a fantastic camera. And it's not only great for senior citizens, it's great for anybody who travels. So I'll talk about the benefits, and at the end I will also talk about some of the negatives. So how does a 360-degree camera work? Well, it's got two lenses on it. You can see it protruding on both sides. And what happens is if you take a picture or you film a video, it actually films everything around you. And then later on, you can use some software to actually create the video or flat video that you want. The basic premise behind a 360 camera is you can film first and frame it later. And you'll see why there are benefits to doing that. With these cameras, all you have to do is carry this and attach it to a selfie stick, and you're ready to go. If you like to create pictures and videos where you yourself are in them, you're going to love a 360 camera. You put this on a selfie stick, and the stick vanishes in the software. Now, you can use an action cam or a mirrorless cam and put it on a selfie stick, but you're going to see the stick in the shot. And with these, you can actually walk around and it looks almost like a drone is following you or is filming you. So that's another reason why a 360 camera is just fantastic. Of course, when it comes to video, you're going to want it to be stable. You don't want this bouncing image that's going to irritate all of your viewers. And the X5 has built-in stabilization that's really fantastic. Of course, these other action cams also have fantastic stabilization, but you can do that without having to carry a gimbal around with you as you would with a DSLR. Now, when you shoot video, are you planning to shoot it in the landscape format or in the vertical format? With the X5, you film once and you frame it later. You really do, because you can actually take your filmed footage and decide later if you want a vertical format for social media or if you want to do the horizontal format for a long-form YouTube video or any other purpose. The X5 offers software for both your computer and your phone that allows you to edit the video. So once you film it, you frame it later, you edit it together, you add special effects, you change the colors, you can do pretty much anything at a basic level that you can with image editing or video editing software. With most of these action cameras, you can create what are called hyperlapses, which makes it look like you're speeding through a city or environment. Now, an action cam does a fantastic job of creating a hyperlapse, but I think it's actually easier to use a 360 camera like the X5. If you want shots that move, the X5 gives you a couple options. You can actually walk with it to create movement in your shots, but something else I really like is you can just hold your X5 stable and then allow it to film video, and later on you can actually change the framing so you can actually turn the video as spectators watch. A lot of times when you're trying to take video, trying to take pictures, there's all these other people that often get into your shots. And I really like the X5 because I've been able to use it to film video and then be able to sweep out of the image and show other things while people are walking by. So in the edit, I've been able to remove the strangers. I like the ability of the X5 to create drone-like shots. So many places these days don't allow you to use drones. But all you have to do is take your X5, put it on a selfie stick, and you can do all kinds of effects where it looks as if you have a drone. When it comes to touring, I think that's where the Insta360 X5 shines. Because when you're on a tour, it allows you to be in the moment. Think about it, when you're touring an exotic foreign town or you're someplace you've never been before, you have a tour guide talking. I've been in that situation where I'm trying to use my camera. I have those earphones on, or I have a tour guide that's just talking to me, and I'm trying to frame shots while I'm listening to the tour. And what happens is I don't do either very well. And so I may get the shot and I missed what was going on and didn't hear the history, or I didn't gain those insights that the tour guide is offering. And so with the 360 camera, put it on a stick, walk around the town, enjoy the tour, and then later on, I can frame my images and create my videos. So let me give you a couple examples here, both of a still image taken with this camera as well as a video. Now here's a still picture that I took at a train museum. 60 camera, you can see that I can look in all directions. In one capture, one press of the button, you get all this information. Now if I want to, I can zoom in, I can come back out, I can click here, change it to vertical, and then I have animate mode here. And what I've done is I put some keyframes here. So in other words, I can set the positions and put it on this timeline. So as you can see, I have a position here, I have a position here, and I have a position here with an actual zoom in a little bit. And then when I want to animate, I can push play, and you'll see that the computer actually makes all the in-betweens and creates the smooth movements of the camera. This is actually a video. So if I push play, now you see that I'm going to walk up into this caboose here. Now what's really cool is, just as I showed you with the keyframes, I can set keyframes here, and now we're going to walk inside and you'll see how great this video looks. I mean, this is inside. It's not dark. I mean, there's plenty of skylights and such late in the day. But you're free to use keyframes as well as zoom in, zoom out, and set how you want the image to look. So for example, if I want to use this as my keyframe, then at that point I can adjust it so I can have an ultra wide or linear view, so you don't get as much of that curving going on. So set your keyframes. You can even move the keyframes, zoom in and out, and I think you can see it just gives you so much flexibility. Just walking through the caboose, the camera takes everything in. So you have all these details that you can add later on. 360 camera is a lot smaller and lighter than a mirrorless or DSLR camera. Now, if you're like me, you probably in the old days lugged a camera that hung around your neck. By the end of the day, your neck was sore. You may even have felt your back, especially if you carried a big telephoto lens. You'll find that the X5 is far more durable than a mirrorless camera, or even something like this. This is the DJI Pocket 3 with its built-in gimbal, which is a really cool camera. I love this camera, but I can take this one underwater where I can't take a mirrorless camera or the DJI Pocket 3. Now, while the X5 is more durable than the other cameras and can be taken underwater, it's not as durable as a GoPro style camera. This one here happens to be the Insta360 Ace Pro. I also love this camera, and I use it under certain circumstances. You'll find that the X5 is far less expensive than a mirrorless and certainly a full-frame camera. With those mirrorless cameras, by the time you add in the lenses, you're probably talking $3,000 or $4,000, and at the low end of the mirrorless market, maybe $1,500 with a very fragile lens on it. So for that reason, it's also something to be said when you're traveling and you might be afraid of somebody stealing your equipment, it's nice to have something that doesn't cost as much and certainly carries its own weight, and it's very practical. Now, why can't you use a phone? And certainly you can. But for me personally, when I'm traveling, I prefer to have a dedicated camera. Certainly something like this, because when you travel these days, your tickets, your banking information, you have so much on your phone that if you were to lose your phone, I just feel vulnerable. If I'm out on a street corner trying to film and I'm using my phone, to me, the form factor is something that's hard to hold, and it's something somebody could run by and swipe. Yes, they could swipe this camera out of my hand as well, but should I lose a camera, this one doesn't cost as much as a mirrorless or full frame camera, and I don't have all my data on it. I don't have access to my banking information, all my contacts, all my personal information, Apple Wallet, that type of thing. So for that reason, I do prefer a dedicated camera, and the X5 fits the bill. Now, when you shoot with a mirrorless or full frame camera, a lot of times, especially if you use a gimbal or a tripod, you're going to find that people are going to notice you, and you probably get self-conscious. At least I do. But with this kind of camera, or even something like the Osmo Pocket 3, it's great because it's less obtrusive. Now, of course, you want to take the camera that's going to work for the type of trip that you're on. So if you're taking this camera or this camera, they're not going to be the best for, say, a safari or Alaskan cruise, where you want to have a long lens to be able to zoom in and take footage of animals in the wild, that type of thing. You're going to need a really good camera with a big telephoto, and if you're into that type of thing, you're going to want to bring your lenses and carry everything, and that's probably a big part of the trip. But for those of us who are just on casual travels, who want to take good footage and not be inconvenienced too much, I think these cameras are fantastic. And when it comes to durability, you can't compare this camera against something that's a true action camera like this Insta360 Ace Pro. This will be the most durable camera that you can take on a trip. So if you're rough on cameras, maybe this is the one to use. The cool thing about the X5 is a new innovation where you can buy a kit and you can actually replace the lenses should you scratch or break them. So that's a fantastic addition in this latest generation of the Insta360. You'll also find that these cameras with the 1-inch sensor will work better in low light situations. And when it comes to low light, probably no camera is better than this. Out of the ones I'm looking at here, probably none of them are better than the Osmo Pocket 3, because the stabilization is built in or is mechanical with the large sensor. And so you're going to get the best images at night using the Osmo Pocket 3. But that said, the X5 does a fantastic job in lower light than past versions. Finally, the last downside is, while with a 360 camera you can shoot first and frame later, you do still have to work with software later to get the images that you want. And for some that might be intimidating, but I like the flexibility of just being able to film and kind of get this B-roll and be able to just alter it as I see fit later on, and I can just enjoy my travels in the moment. Anyway, those are the reasons why I love this Insta360 X5. If you have any questions, please comment below. And I'm just starting this new channel. I have another channel. I think I'm at about 90,000 subscribers, but I'm starting this new one that is geared more towards travel and senior citizen and those kinds of topics as I get older. So if you want to come along for the ride, please do subscribe and comment below with anything that you'd like to know. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.